As if Mercury retrograde wasn't enough, it's doubling up with the Mars retrograde, which starts this week. Welcome back to the Hello Fluid Collective podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I love astrology and helping creatives and entrepreneurs tap into their creative workflows. On this episode, we'll be talking about the astrology forecast for the week of December 2nd through December 8th. But first, I just want to remind you guys that I offer a year ahead reading where we dive into both the collective astrology and how it hits your personal chart. So now is the perfect time to get a little bit of foresight so you can ebb and flow with the cycles that are coming your way, whether you're aware of them or not. Knowing these things ahead of time doesn't necessarily stop them or prevent them or anything like that, but it can help us accept them, making a complicated year just that much easier. If you're interested in that, all of the links are in the show notes below. If you want to plan your whole month in advance, make sure you sign up for the newsletter where I send out a month ahead forecast. All right, let's get into the astrology for this week. The first day we have an exact transit is Monday, December 2nd, and that's Venus trine Uranus. This is a supportive transit that brings excitement into our relationships, finances, creative projects, and value systems. If you kind of break free from your normal routines and these things, there is opportunity for innovation to come through in unexpected ways. Like maybe a collaboration or a connection with somebody that you just haven't thought of in a while. As for business owners, this is a great energy to break free from your normal day-to-day routine and create from your intuition and see what shines through. Next up is Wednesday, December 4th, and that's Mercury opposite to Jupiter. This is the second time that we're going to feel this transit out of 3 because Mercury is retrograde. And with this transit, it's not so bad of an opposition. It has us feeling quite optimistic and dreaming big and thinking of the big picture. The downside is that because we're thinking so expansively, it has us missing out on the little details. So if there's stuff that you need to plan out in the nitty-gritty, this energy can make it really tricky to do so. So I would recommend not doing that on this day, or if you have to, like really putting in a lot of extra effort to make sure you're not missing details. So second, third, fourth checks, get somebody else involved in it. But again, sometimes we just miss it and we can't help it. So don't be too hard on yourself if that's the case. There's also a chance for misunderstandings because some people, including ourselves, might be over exaggerating the truth, stretching the truth a little bit. Just take things with a grain of salt on this day. As for business owners, this is a great day to dream big. Again, not necessarily planning out the nitty-gritty details. Lean into the optimistic energy when we're dreaming, but make sure it's grounded in reality if you're going to move forward with any plan whatsoever. Then later on that day, we have the Sun square Saturn. This is a transit that's going to ground you in reality. So it's going to balance out the overly optimistic energies that we're getting from the transit before. This may also have you feeling overwhelmed in your responsibilities, kind of bogged down by all the things that you need to do. And with that, it's going to highlight any spaces in your life where you need to practice more discipline. And it might do so in kind of a harsh way, by bringing up a frustration or a challenge or delay where it's telling you, hey, you need to get more serious about this. As for business owners, I would use this energy to tackle any overdue tasks or anything that you've just been putting off for a while. Just do it on this day, get it out the way. It'll feel a lot lighter if you do. Then still on Wednesday, the last transit of the day is Venus sextile to Neptune. This is a supportive transit that's going to bring some dreaminess and romance into our relationships, into our finances, and into our self-worth and creative projects as well. This is a lovely energy to create from. Definitely goes into the dreaming big energy of the Mercury opposite to Jupiter. All of these energies kind of balance each other out. However, with the Venus sextile to Neptune, it adds to the lack of being grounded in reality. It kind of has us living in a fantasy a little bit. So again, not a day to be committing to things, but a wonderful day to be creating, dreaming, and romanticizing about the future. As for business owners, it's just a beautiful energy to create intuitively. Just like the energy we're getting from Monday, that's still going to spew over into this day. So just a lovely week for creating in general and creating without a plan. Next is Thursday, December 5th, and that's the Sun conjunct Mercury. Some people call this a cazimi. Now, because we're in retrograde, this is probably a very welcomed energy, and it's going to give us a mental boost. They meet in the sign of Sagittarius, so it could give us a mental boost to try new things, be adventurous, and kind of just have confidence to explore. Conversations and communications may be sharp and witty, and whatever you communicate now has a lot of power, so choose your words wisely. As for business owners, this is a helpful energy for problem solving. Mercury retrograde can have us feeling a little bogged down, so this day, on and around this day, can give us some energy to figure some things out. But on Friday, December 6th, we have Mercury square Saturn, which is quite opposite of the energy. It is an energy that has us feeling delays and restrictions in our communication and mental patterns. It's really easy to go down mental spirals of not being good enough. Saturn can have us feeling kind of shitty about ourselves, and when it's with Mercury, it's going to be all in our heads. So expect mental blocks and delays. As for business owners, things like tasks and projects that you thought were completed may come back around, especially with the retrograde, and be like, oh shoot, I actually need to do this in order to complete it. So it can be kind of frustrating, but if you can, just keep your head down and finish out the task instead of getting stuck in the spiral of, attaching meaning to it. Still on Friday, the next transit is Venus moving into the sign of Aquarius. This is our relationships, our finances, and our value systems getting a dose of individual flair, uniqueness, community, humanitarianism. It gives our relationships an unconventional approach, and same to our finances. As for business owners, I would use this energy to reflect on how can you attract a more diverse audience. Aquarius is all about people bringing their individuality into the collective space. So how can your business be that collective space for people to show up as their true selves? How can you support people in their authentic forms? Still on Friday, the next transit we have is Mars stationing retrograde. Now, this is kind of a big deal, kind of not. Mars retrogrades once every 2 years or so, and it does so for 4 months. So, yeah, it kind of lasts a while. Mars rules our physical energy, our bodies, our actions, the way we assert ourselves, our motivations, and our desires. So, essentially, what we want and how we go after it. When it's retrograde, physical energy slows down. And this is important. I think we all need to kind of take a break and slow down a little bit. But with the Mars retrograde, it does this so that we can reflect on our actions from the past 2 years and our approaches and our actions. Yes, we're slowing down a little bit, but by the end of this retrograde, we're going to be a lot more in touch with our desires and what we really want. It's going to feel a lot more connected. Now, it can have us taking that assertion and sometimes aggression that comes with Mars and turning it inward. So you might find that your self-critic is kind of loud over the next few months, but you can use that as an opportunity to figure out what really motivates you through those tougher times or through those times when you're being hard on yourself. I'm going to do a longer episode on Mars retrograde, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to talk about what it means while it's retrograding through Leo and what it means when it's retrograding through Cancer. And then I'll also go through all of the houses that it's in so you can figure out what area of life this is happening for you. As for business owners, good time to reassess your goals and your strategies for going about getting those goals. Which is perfect for the end of the year. We kind of do that anyways. So it's going to be retrograding through February 24th. So basically this whole winter season is the time to hibernate, refocus, reassess, reevaluate. We have Mercury also retrograding through the middle of December, so just a couple energies that are really asking us to slow down. Moving on to the last day with exact transits, and that's Saturday, December 7th, and there's 3 of them. The first one is Venus conjunct Pluto. This is a transit that's going to bring intensity, depth, and transformation to our relationships, finances, and value systems. They're going to get supercharged. This is a time when we're super magnetic and we can have a lot of power in what we're attracting. For business owners, this gives a dose of intense focus towards the things that we're passionate about. So use it to really get some things done that you love. Next up is the Sun opposite to Jupiter. So this is kind of similar to the Mercury opposite Jupiter, but a bit more filled with energy and power. This brings a lot of opportunity to be super confident in yourself, which is awesome. We could all use some more confidence. However, the balance is being overly confident and taking on more than you can handle. This may have us feeling like we can do anything, like we can totally handle that, but this energy dwindles. So be careful what you commit to during this time, because once this energy dwindles, you might not be able to work at that capacity anymore. So not an energy for committing to things. The last transit of the week is on Saturday, and that's Neptune stationing direct. This gives all things spirituality and inspiration some forward momentum. You might kind of come out of a dreaminess or a fantasy world, and some inspiration will come back into your reality. This also heightens our compassion for ourselves and one another, which is perfect for the holiday season. As for business owners, take what you've learned about your spirituality over the past few months and see how you can apply them into your business. All right, that's it for this week. I hope you guys have a lovely week. And if you want daily reminders about all of these transits, make sure you follow me over on Instagram, where I post each and every day's transits to my story. Also, you can find a quick 90-second version of this so you can get a little reminder of all the stuff happening, because it's kind of a busy week. Stay safe and love you. Until next time, stay hella fluid, y'all.